Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett is refusing to let Marjorie Taylor Greene relax in her vanity position as chair of the DOGE subcommittee.
Ma'am, one of the people that Elon Musk has hired to do these audits literally wrote an AI program to decode the scrolls of Pompeii that no one else was able to do. I'd say he's qualified to do an audit.
Well, that's a little bit above Ms. Crockett's intelligence level, so she doesn't really understand that. The reality is Democrats like Ms. Crockett, Mr. Garcia, pitching their temper tantrums and not being serious about our national debt is exactly why we will win in the midterms.
Even Marjorie Taylor Greene was asked about this in one of her town halls just recently. I want you to take a listen. She read the question, though. She didn't take a live question. We'll see it.
Why is MTG supporting Musk and DOGE and the slashing of Medicaid, Social Security offices, libraries, and more? This is outrageous from Sarah. Well, Sarah, unfortunately, you're being brainwashed by the news that you're watching.
Congresswoman.
This is coming from someone who clearly reads on a first grade level, so I don't know why she's trying to clown Sarah, who obviously is a constituent of hers. And what's really sad is this is the woman that oversees the subcommittee on DOGE.
We've had a number of these hearings, so I do want to be clear. Before the Trump administration came in, this committee did exist in the form of the Oversight Committee, and our task is to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. In that vein, we had a number of hearings, at least last term. I can't speak for any other term as I'm only in my sophomore term. And we dealt with improper payments. And interestingly enough, our chairwoman, who is so passionate about this today, she missed every single one of those improper payment hearings. But just to be clear, I was there, so I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work. In fact, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Republicans believe our job is, because right now they have relinquished their constitutional duties over to an unelected bureaucrats. We are going to talk about efficiency and worry about some solar paneled whatevers. Let's talk about the fact that as of March 30th, Trump's golfing has cost us approximately $26 million. And the last time I checked, we're not getting anything in return for that. So I will get back on my remarks, but I just wanted to point out that maybe we need to talk about the president and his golfing habits. In fact, he decided that he was going to golf as the markets were tanking. He decided he was going to golf instead of receiving 4 heroes who died serving this country. He has decided that he wanted to play games while the rest of us are really trying to make sure that we can serve the American people.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund the HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due.
Right now, ICE is trying to work with the IRS because we actually take in billions of dollars because of immigrants in this country, and now they're going to try to get them out. And I'm going to tell you that the biggest issue that we have, I really don't think this should be a partisan issue, so I'm going to agree with my Republican colleagues. I think that we all should want to be safe in our communities. The problem that we have is that we have an incompetent administration, that everything that they touch turns to
because what they do is they take a wide sweeping brush and they have decided that the enemy is now going to be immigrants instead of taking a scalpel. That's all we're asking, is to be exact in what you're doing instead of taking a sledgehammer to everything. Thank you, and I will yield.
This is a party driven by hate, bitterness, and greed. They hold all the power right now, and instead of building anything productive, they're burning it all down, stripping away rights and gutting institutions, mass deporting people without due process. We're not gaining anything here. We're only losing. We're losing friends and neighbors and students, but worst of all, we're collectively losing our humanity. The more stories that we hear on a daily basis about people being disappeared or deported without due process, the more desensitized we become. That's not just an effect, that's the goal. But as we've had to say so many times over the years, this is not normal and it's not acceptable. And by that I mean we're not going to accept it. Look, this is why the far right works so hard to silence dissent and punish free speech. It's because they know that people are paying attention. They know that so much of what the right is doing is a shock to the conscience and is so morally unacceptable that they have to try to grind you down. They want us to gradually soften our positions and dull our attacks and become apathetic and subservient. Now, leftists have an obligation and a responsibility to stand up and fight back while we still can.